Hi there. Welcome to a new video. Uh, Thank you, audience, for tuning in to Money Wealth Planner. I'm here to discuss in this video today. We're going to talk about how many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I want to talk about some principles on how to stop the rat race living paycheck to paycheck. Many Americans, right now, this is at its highest point. Many Americans making anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 per year. Statistics show that 65% of those people in the 150,000 to 100,000 income are living paycheck to paycheck. And then American households who are earning more than 100,000 a year annually are still living paycheck to paycheck. 44% of them. Okay? So this just defies uh, basic common sense that if we take basic fundamental accounting principles, you know that you can't keep doing this to build wealth. So that's what my channel is all about. My channel is all about building wealth that's sustainable to where you can live off of your assets and your wealth. Okay. I want to touch on point number two is 70% of all two income households admit that they are overspending on non essentials. Okay. We have to learn how to delay self gratification, instantaneous satisfaction. Um, Not look at your neighbors and trying to keep up with what your neighbor's doing. You know, they're buying a new riding lawnmower, they're buying a new car, they're buying a new ATV, things like that. That stuff depends on your income, where you are in your savings, where you are in your household spending, all these things, all your essential bills. You got to take into account all of that stuff before you try and run out and go buy things that you don't have the money in the bank to buy. And that's one reason why people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're spending too much time worrying about what they don't have now. And you have to kind of look at that in a broader lens, and you got to look at it in um, incremental steps to accumulation, not trying to accumulate all these things that you may desire in the next 6 months, the next year. Um, you know, you need to give that more time. Okay. And then my point number three is you have to build your knowledge on how to budget, how to save, how to manage debt, invest for investment, retirement planning is the key to retiring early and retiring, uh, period. Okay. Uh, and successful people, success is doing what you say you're going to do. Okay. That is the rule for successful people. Okay. You have to have integrity. You have to do what you say you're going to do. Okay. And so you just have to be in a constant mode of continuously uh, seeking out new knowledge. So you always have to continue to read, continue to learn new things, uh, continue to try to keep yourself around um, people that are people that you want to uh, model after. You don't want to be around people uh, that's broker than you. I mean, uh, that's fine if there's some people around you broker than you, family members and things like that. But you have to try to surround yourself with up to 5 people that are successful people or people who are doing well, better than yourself, so you can have some examples to mimic and model. Okay, so again, you need to think about where you want your life to be in 10 years, in 15 years, and 20 years. So what I'm all about is you have to create plans. You have to have multiple plans. You have to have a life plan to achieve success. So you can't just start a career, go through life, you know, get in a relationship, um, go to work, and and just think things are just going to be fine. You just get up every day, do the same thing over again. You know, next day, get up, come home, do whatever, take care of kids or whatever you got to do, and back to work again. Okay. If you're doing that, that's not the way to have a prosperous, uh, successful future where you don't have to worry about, um, your light bill, your insurance premiums. I mean, you won't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And how you do that is by starting to create a budget and learn how to live on less than what you make. Okay? So, successful people, you have to create goals. Okay? And these goals that you're going to create, they're going to be goals to incrementally uh, increase your income. Okay? You want to increase your income. So, if you're starting off, and this is for anybody ages from 19 to 49. Those are the prime years where you're going to establish and create a successful career. Um, um, you're going to acquire assets along the way. So these are your wealth. These are your greatest wealth building years from 19 years of age to 49 to 50. Okay. And these are the years that you can do it the most by putting money away and creating. And then even if you just put your money in high yielding uh, uh, money market accounts, you're gonna gain wealth just over the simple fact of the basic accounting of compounding interest. And the earlier you do this, the sooner you'll see your wealth grow. It'll just constantly grow. So for you to succeed, um, you have to think. For you to succeed, you have to have an open mind. You have to not have the my opinion of you know it all, or um, or you have a one way of doing something. I mean, you got to look at uh, multiple different ways from other successful people, not from broke people, because a broke person can't help you, you know, to get you to your goals where you want to be. So, my thing is, you have to create multiple plans, you have to create targets, um, and you have to take action to move toward those plans and the target goal that you set. And you have to set these target goals that are short term goals, like in 1 year, medium term goals in the next 5 years, long term goals, 10, 20 years, and so forth. So you have to have multiple plans. And that's what I did in my life and get to where I'm at where I have multiple streams of income. You know, I have several assets that are generating income, particularly real estate. Um, so these are the things you want to be able to get to where you can build wealth to where you can make money while you're sitting on your couch or while you're sleeping. Okay, because when you get to an older age, say after 60, I think most people would prefer to be able to get paid while they sit on their couch or while they're sleeping in their house. Okay, you don't want to have to run out in 100-degree weather, or you don't want to have to go out in 10-degree weather. It's snowing and it's icy, and you got to get up at 5 in the morning to get out there on an icy road, or you know. It, so that's all fine. You have to put in your time and you have to put in the work to get to that point in your life. Uh, Nothing's going to come to you easy. I mean, you got people out here, saying that, you can do these things in, in a year. You can achieve this amount of money, or you can do this and that. Uh, that's not really how it works for most people. For the average and the above average person, that's not how it's going to work. You got to be some exceptional person, and you got to have a tremendous amount of luck on your side and the right amount of people in your life to help you along to where you're going to make 1 million in 1 year. I mean, that's just not going to happen. I mean, it didn't happen to me. I mean, it took me decades to get to the point where, I'm worth well over $2 million. So that's not going to happen in in 1 year or 5 years for most people that are working a day job or a night job. You're just not going to have the time, um, and to do it. But you want to have an open mind. You can do anything you set your mind to, and if you seek out the knowledge, uh, other people's books that teach you how money works. And that's another thing. A lot of times we have a mindset about money that's not right. And you have to get your mind right about money. You have to see money as a vehicle to move you further in your life to where you get to where you can be more comfortable in your living and providing for your family as you get older. Because as you get older, you want to uh, be able to work less. Because by working more and just working hard and working more, that doesn't necessarily make you exponentially more money. Okay, so and we just know that because most people that make a lot of money that are really rich, they don't work a lot of hours a day. They don't work 10, 12 hours a day. I mean, a lot of these people are only working, you know, 2 at the most 6 hours a day, 2 to 6 hours a day, and they're bringing in, 10,000 a month, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some people are making 100,000 a month, depending on what type of cash flow you got coming in. Do you have multiple investment rental properties? Do you have multiple streams of digital assets, online businesses that are uh, bringing you money in um, uh, passively? I mean, you don't have to do much work for it. I mean, you put in work up front, but then you don't continuously have to put in that work. You don't continuously have to get up at 5 in the morning and work till 5 in the evening. I mean, so so that's the thing about creating assets that bring in income, because that's the way it works. You gotta acquire assets, and then the income will follow the assets that you hold, and then over time, those assets will usually increase in value, you know, or they'll just be more known to the public. Like in case if you had published a book or something, or you put some type of digital media out there online that you was promoting or selling, uh, the time value, and if you got a good product, it's going to eventually generate you more and more income as time go on. And then, of course, you can modify and add to it and make new available products uh, for people to advance um, their goals in life. But that's what I talk about. My channel is all about is getting you to save. And another thing that people get into trouble with is a rush to buy your first house. Okay. Um, and I say you actually don't want to buy a house if you don't have the funds and the money and the savings for a down payment, because you don't, with the high interest rates right now, between uh, anywhere from 7.5% to 8% interest rate on a 30-year mortgage. I mean, you're going to have a substantial amount of income to be able to afford a starter home in most metropolitan areas. I mean, the average house is gonna run you anywhere, from 450 to $600,000, depending on what market you're in. So, and you're talking about having a mortgage payment that's going to be around 2,500 to 3,500 a month. Okay, and my rule is you don't want your housing expense to be more than 30% of your take home pay. Because if it is, then that's the reason why you're not going to have enough money to put into investments, to put into mutual funds, stocks, ETFs, uh, to put money aside to be able to buy rental property. So eventually that rental property will pay you. Um, and then, of course, you got to have extra money to pay off any debts that you might already have. Um, and then you just want to build up a savings. You just want to build up that cushion, you know. So that's the thing. I mean, the main thing is your housing. You need shelter, but you don't want to have shelter to where it's more than 30% of your take-home pay. Okay. Now, bank will say, they usually look at your gross pay and they say, you know, you can't be more than, I believe the number now is like it's somewhere around 30, 36 to 38% of your gross take home, your gross pay. But you can't live off your gross pay because you're going to be taxed. If you're an employee, you're going to get taxed before you get your pay. And see, so you only can live off of what your take home is going to be. So that's why. So if you're grossing a month, let's just say you're grossing 4,000 a month, and you're taking home 3,000. Okay, well then you don't want your mortgage payment more than $900. So, and I know in most places $900 is not going to get you much, but of course, if you had a higher income, you'd be more. I mean, if you had a six thousand a month income, then you'll be able to almost double that. You'll be able to go up to about 15 or 1,600 a month. Okay, so and that's a decent, fair mortgage amount. But the thing is, you want to keep that down, and that's where people get into house poor. They buy too big a house because if you ever heard any of the videos or talks, if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I have, Robert Kiyosaki, your house you live in is not an asset to you; it's a liability because it's taking money out of your pocket to maintain your house. So that's why when you're first starting out, you don't want to go and buy a really big house, you know? And like I said, you want to even delay and wait before you buy your house because you don't want your house to rob you of your wealth. Basically, it will. It'll rob you of your wealth by having a house too soon. Okay. Yes, the house can appreciate, and then uh, 5, 10 years later, yeah, your house could be worth more, but then you still have a lot of mortgage on the house. So um, you're still going to have to go and get another house. And that, so you'll create more wealth. I mean, you'll create a net worth wealth, but you can go and now rent the original house you was in. Okay. Uh, but you remember now you still have a somewhat high mortgage on that. So you got to have enough spread there to make a cash flow. Okay, so you got to have at least $200 cash flow. Otherwise, you just created a bigger liability on the boat houses because your house you live in, you can't get anything off of that, and then the one you're renting now, you're not getting anything off of it either. So that means your income has to be higher. So so you just see how that could get you into trouble. So not saying a lot of people do that, but successful people do that in the right way. You got to have your income proportion to be able to handle that in order to go that route. Uh, but the first thing to do is just create emergency savings, uh, put your money in ETFs, in the stock market, and grow your money that way. And then move into buying real estate. So those are the things that will get you to a point where you can create wealth for the longevity, and it will last, and you will be uh, in a better situation for it. So for now, I will leave you with that. Until my next video, I will see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye.